Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another dual commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be round 5 of the LCS number 8, and it's going to be featuring Niklas Delhey on Zoodiac versus Sebastian Zimmerman on Invoked Dogmatika. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started here. We are going to be seeing Invoked Dogmatika winning the RPS, and going to opt to go first probably. Not really anything too surprising here. Both players on 40 cards. Whoa, that was a weird visual bug. The opening hand for Invoked Dogmatika is going to be Nadir Servant, Imperm, Valor, Desires, and Invocation. So this is quite a strong hand. Desires can get access to potentially the invoked half of the deck, but having Nadir Servant is also very good as just a starter card. 2 hand traps as well. And then for Zoodiac, the opening hand is going to be Dimension Shifter, Imperm, Ogre, Macrocosmos, and Zoodiac Whiptail. So Shifter main deck is a pretty interesting trend that we saw over the course of the LCS, where this is actually a very good hedge against Virtual World, as well as things like PK and just general combo decks like Dragon Link, for example. So it's a very, very high impact hand trap. It can hurt a little bit, like if you commit to Trident early, but what you can do is if you're going second, you can just go for Zeus plays instead and then hold off until Trident so it doesn't ever get banished. And then we see the macro as well, kind of just doubling down on the whole banishing strategy. So yeah, this should be fairly interesting. We are going to see an activation of Pot of Desires. That's going to banish 10, and then draw a copy of Ash Valor. So just a lot of hand traps. Now we have 4 hand traps in this hand. Let's see what was banished here. Nothing really too important. Main deck Feather Duster for possibly Mystic Mine, because that really took over the last LCS, like with Mine Dinosaur. But yeah, this is a very solid banish. We're going to see Nadir's Servant come down, so this has to send from extra deck to the grave specifically, which means if Niklas chains Shifter, then you won't be able to actually search. So that is going to be actually pretty massive here. Yeah, going to chain Shifter and then send Magellanica. Interesting that he found space for this. Alright, so yeah, it's just going to be a pass. For turn, he's going to draw a Thoroughblade. He already had a Zoo Engine, but it's nice to have more of them. I'm going to normal summon Thoroughblade and not use its effect. I like that because if you use it, then it just plays into Ogre or Gamma. Better just play safer. He's going to go Battle Phase, hit for 16. Yep, right. So I just wanted to make sure that actually connected. Hit for 16. And then, alright, they paused the game and then resumed it. I'm not sure what happened there. But they're going to go Hammer Kong and then Trident and then just pass play. Fair enough. Yeah, your Trident never actually got threatened. So like I was saying earlier, like you don't want to commit Trident if it's in danger of getting banished, but your opponent literally just passed. So pretty safe to just use Trident and then D-Shifter wears off when you pass back. For turn, he's going to draw a copy of Invocation, Alistair, which is very good because he already has Invocation. So that is a pretty nice draw. It's going to bypass the Imperm here. Could be risky depending on how macro, or when macro is activated. Or it could be scary. Going to be normal summoning Alistair, because he could go Dryden and then chain macro, and that could be really, really nasty. He didn't use Imperm just because he was like, well, Alistair doesn't really care about Dryden, so it would have been a waste of an Imperm, but this macro will change everything. So yeah, he's going to add Invocation here. Yeah, I guess he doesn't really even care about Alistair resolving, because he could just do that play and then save his own Imperm. He's going to activate Macro. And then he's going to allow the Invocation to resolve, which I find to be pretty interesting, because it could have chained Trident to the Invocation to banish the Alistair. And then both the Alistair and the Invocation get banished. So then you can't even Invocation recycle. So I think it would have been possibly worth using Trident there. Maybe he's playing around like triple tactics talents. I guess you don't really mind Trident dying. Well, it's going to get banished by macro, which also would kind of suck. But I guess you have Whiptail as well. So that's, yeah, it's actually fine. It depends on if he actually wants to commit. Oh wait, no, you can't use Makaba under macro because that's the sent to grave specifically. Oh, macro putting in a lot of work here, huh? That's pretty crazy. End of main phase, going to go to battle phase, and then try and swing over Trident. You can Whiptail here, and then it'll just speed over and then banish the Makaba. So this is gonna put the Zoo player really far ahead. Or you can just Stride, that's fair enough. I was way overthinking that. Yeah, honestly, that is definitely better. I was like way complicating that. He's gonna set Imperm in the macro column and pass. For turn, draw another copy of Shifter. That's not a good draw. But overall, like, Zoo is in a pretty favorable position because there's just a lot of dead cards here. It doesn't matter how many hand traps you have. If A, you can't activate Valor, and B, you don't have engine cards anyways. I got a normal summon Whiptail and go straight to battle phase. That's going to hit for 12 and either 16 or 28 depending on if he wants to use Whiptail. Chooses not to. Main phase 2 can go for Shockanine and then go for Zeus. And just pass turn back. For turn, Invoked Dogmatika is going to draw Ecclesia, which is pretty decent. The question is, well, he has Imperm for it anyway, so yeah, it's going to be really hard to come back from this spot. I'm going to special summon Ecclesia from hand and then use her effect. That's going to be Impermed. And then Invocation is going to be set. End phase. Oh, looks like that was just a misclick of materials. Gonna banish the Ecclesia, pop and then banish. This should also be banished because it specifies card, not monster. Okay, there we go. They fixed it. For turn, he's gonna draw Mistake. Wow, this is just a lot of floodgates. All right. So I kind of wonder what the ratio of hand traps to floodgates are because he's playing a lot of cards that are just not very good to draw going second if your opponent's already on an established board. Like certain floodgates like Rivalry Gozen are fine to draw going second because they help clear the board, but cards like Macro Mistake don't do that if your opponent already is playing. But he is also clearly on like at least double Shifter, probably 3 because you want to see this card. And then Ogre, we can presume stuff like Imperm, Ash maybe. So probably just like a good mix of both. We're going to see Zeus being switched to attack position. And then hit for... This will be game. Just straight up, actually. And 3k. And Imperm on Dryden. Okay. Fair enough. That did turn off macro for this turn, but he would have probably preferred to save it for next turn. It's still most likely going to be game. Gonna set Mistake. And then pass play. Draw a copy of Meltdown. That's not a very good draw either, because you just get Tridented and you lose. And also you have to deal with Zeus, Macro, Mistake. Oh yeah, we can't even do it under Mistake either. So you just flip Mistake and it's... Yeah, there's just so many responses. Yeah, he's gonna just scoop there. The Imperm actually wouldn't have gone to the Banish Zone because it was negating the Macro. But we're gonna see Game 2, Invoked Dogmatika go first again. That was just a lot of floodgates from Zoo. Opening for Invoked Dogmatika is going to be Meltdown, Alistair, Imperm, Punishment, Invocation. So no Dogmatika cards besides Punishment, which is a decent one to draw. Just drawing all of the invoked stuff. And then for Zoo, it's going to be Imperm, Mistake, Thoroughblade, Desires, and Whiptail. So again, like it's drawing like a floodgate that is not ideal to have going second, but Imperm is also okay. So it's like, I guess his goal is just to try and draw a floodgate after you hand trap, and then you just basically lock them out, which is reasonable. This Imperm's not going to really do anything against this hand because he already hard your Invocation. You know, like the obligatory rule of playing Invoked is you always have to draw Invocation whenever they draw their hand trap for Alistair. But yeah, we will see. He's going to use a Meltdown first. People are off Joel right now, so this is okay to do. Grab Alistair and then normal Alistair, use the effect. That's gonna get impermed, but you know, always drawing the Invocation. Invocation going to summon Makaba, and then use the Invocation Graveyard effect to add back Alistair. Kind of surprised he put this in attack position, just because people normally play around Lightning Storm, game 2 especially. Set Punishment and pass. For turn, he draws a copy of Judgment. Really surprised at keeping in these cards for going second. I mean, you probably would just assume you're going second post side deck against Invoked Dogmatika. But hey, I mean, if he manages to get his plays across, then these are going to be very good later. Main phase 1, going to activate Pot of Desires. That is going to banish 10 and then draw a Cosmic and Ice Dragon's Prison. Ice Dragon's Prison is pretty good going second, to be fair. Cosmic is going to be very good here because now you can just kind of not really care about the Macabre, to be honest. So he drew very, very well. Let's see actually what he banished. Shifter, Imperm, Third Blade Ash, Shifter, Ram, Order, Ram. Is that all three Ram? Tanky, let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, he banished all three Ram. So that is a little bit unfortunate. It's going to make Megaclops a little bit harder, but in general, it should be okay. So we're going to see a copy Cosmic just blind on the set. It's going to get rid of Punishment. And then going to go for Thoroughblade into Borbo. And then Borbo attack directly for 16. Main phase 2, go for Hammer Kong. Then go for Tiger. Then go for Zeus. And you could honestly just hold this and pass. You're not really in any pressure to really do anything. You can just set your traps, and you're pretty much good to go from this position. Oh, he is actually going to commit, though. He's going to use Zeus. That's going to force the Macabre. Or you could just let it go, because everything's going to die anyway. But he might want to just consider using it so that it gets the other materials off the Zeus. Plus, it'll get the Zeus off the board. He is going to use Macabre, because he has raised he already has 2 Alistair, if I can even speak English right now. But he's going to chain the Zeus, of course. So that's going to send everything, and then this gets banished. And then going to set the 3 traps. He should be fine because he has another Zoo for next turn. So you can honestly just, like... You could be really rude and Ice Dragon's Prison away the Alistair when he goes to normal it. Then he'll just be out of Alistairs. And then save the Judgment. Honestly, that's probably better. Or you could just mistake the Alistair. Let's see. For turn, he's going to draw a copy of Desires. That's a pretty good draw. That'll help him get out of this. Mistake actually is really good against this specific matchup. So that is something to note. A very interesting kind of floodgate to think about, because it also helps shut down Virtual World to some extent. Because like their best plays involve Qinglong and Lulu, and then this just turns both of them off. So pretty interesting card to consider. Going to go ahead and normal summon the Alistair. That's going to get mistaked. And then going to follow up with a Pot of Desires. That could reasonably get Judgmented, to be honest. But we'll see if he just lets it go through. I think most people would just let it go. But he is going to negate it. Honestly, I think that's fair, because you're putting your opponent on 1 card, and they just honestly better have it. Battle phase, Alistair gonna attack. We could see Ice Dragon's Prison just to get rid of the resources and to fade damage. But he's just gonna take it. Gonna set Imperm in the mistake column and then pass. For turn, he's gonna draw he's gonna draw Judgment with the Whiptail already in hand. This is a little bit scary to run with Tenkies and stuff, but I mean, that's like the only searcher you have, and you have so many others used anyway, so it's not like you're always relying on Tenki. Plus, we haven't seen... Oh, no, we do see 1 banish. Okay. I was going to say, I wonder if you like sided them out or something. But nah, I don't think you do that, even if you play Mistake. So he's going to normal summon the Whiptail here and go for Borbo. I wonder if he's going to attack directly just so he can save like his Ice Dragon's Prison to be able to banish both Alistairs in case he hard draws Invocation. Instead of like going attack and then Whiptail banish this one, because then you run the risk of like if they draw the Invocation, they could technically use the one engrave. So that's something that I would maybe consider. Gonna go for Shotgunine. That's gonna detach Borbo to bring back the Thoroughblade, and then go for Tiger Mortar next. And then go for Trident. Battle phase, attack Alistair. Could go for Imperm, but I mean, he's just gonna chain Trident anyways. Yeah, he's just gonna take the attack. That's fair. Then he's gonna set Judgment. I think Zoo is in a pretty good spot. He's gonna draw Nadir's Servant. That's really a bad, especially against Mistake. It just doesn't do anything. Yeah, so all of his cards are essentially just dead right now. He is going to Imperm the Trident, I would assume, or he could target Thoroughblade. But whatever you target, yeah, he's gonna target Trident. But he could chain Trident to pop itself so that Imperm can't negate Mistake. Because you can assume that either he's trying to turn off Trident or turn off Mistake, or both. But you can at least mitigate one of those impacts by just Trident popping itself. And they can just Judgment whatever their card is, and then they just can't play. Oh wait, yeah, you can pop the Imperm, right? Because it has to be... I'm dumb, I forgot. This has to be on the field at resolution in order to negate the Mistake. So yeah, this is way better than just Trident popping itself. I was thinking a bit too hard for a play that was a lot simpler. But yeah, the Servant is going to be super dead because now this mistake is not negated. Plus there's Judgment Prison anyways. So I think that's just going to be the end of the game here. He's going to pass. Well, not the end of the game yet because he doesn't have damage, but effectively the end of the game. Going to draw a copy of Ice Dragon's Prison for turn. He could honestly just go for like a Zeus play and sit on that. Gonna summon Tiger Mortar and then go for Shakanine. And then go Battle Phase. That's gonna attack for 12 and 16, so 28. That brings him down to a clean 34. He's gonna make Zeus. Whoa, I accidentally clicked fast forward. But he's gonna go Shakanine and then summon Zeus in main phase 2. And then for turn Invoked draws Fleur-de-Lis. So he's gonna summon that and then beat over Trident. That's gonna force a Trident. Okay, he detached the raw material by mistake. But yeah, either way, it's not really going to make a big difference. Yeah, he's just going to reveal that he drew Servant. And that is... Oh yeah, that can add from grave to hand as well, right? Yeah, so I guess that's fair. That's the only Dogmatika card. He's getting Judgment It. And that is going to be it. So we're going to see Zoo take this one 2-0, I believe. Yeah, Zoo had a pretty good showing, as you guys probably saw by the results by now. But this is a pretty interesting take on it. A lot of floodgates and traps, whereas we've seen like Ryan Useless playing literally 24 hand traps. So it's a pretty interesting dynamic in terms of what builds are being played right now. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on Discord, Twitter, or Twitch. All the links in the description as always. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.